can change, but the life you love doesn't have to. Keep your lifestyle healthy with life. What's wrong, Billy? My doctor says I have Steel's spots.
Are they contagious?
I don't think so. Contract the rainbow. Teach the rainbow.
We love Easter shoe hunting, and we found great styles for the whole family at Friesel, like these for me and cute ones for my girl. Picture time! Women's shoes starting at $19.99, kids starting at $9.99. It feels good to pay less.
Dina and I duplicated it this month. 4 girls from her downline, 4 girls from my downline. Same thing every week. The girls got a challenge, and they did great. I mean, it's a lot of reaching out. It's a lot of 3-way calls. It's a lot of go for no. And so this actually is you are the culmination of our challenge. And so they've already had Zooms with different leaders. And so we wanted to bring you on. They want to kind of hear from you a little bit about IPA, what your highlights are with IPA, when your tough times are with IPA, stuff like that. And then they'll ask questions from there. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
So congratulations, guys, for going through the tough mutter with Amy and Dina. It's so not easy. And it kind of, you know what I'm doing. Amy, can you take yourself off of mute? I'm wondering if maybe that'll change things. Okay, that's better, I think. Am I echoing for you guys?
A little bit, but not bad.
Huh. I don't know what to do. Okay.
No, you're okay. We can hear you though, for sure.
Okay. Okay, so it's definitely hard to do. Like I realize this business is not easy. It's just simple. And it's really the IPAs that are what's going to be the most difficult. That's going to be the most challenging for you because you have to constantly going for the no. I think with me, it's about being very truthful. It's about what's for me and what's for my team is about being truthful with exactly what you're actually doing. And I think these types of groups are so impactful because it really keeps you accountable for exactly how many reach outs you're doing. I have many people on my team that think they're doing more than they're actually doing, and that's exactly why they're not growing. They're not using their resources, also known as their sponsors, to feed off objections off of each other or accountability partners. Like we're all getting objections every single day. And I think that you have to utilize your resources. So like I mentioned, your upline, your accountability partner, this group to kind of bounce ideas off of, but you will not get objections if you're not actually asking them if they consider the business. So an IPA is one thing and a reach out is another thing. I remember Elizabeth Guest saying like she has somebody on her team being like, I did 100 reach outs today. Well, that's really effing great. 100 reach outs. What do you say? Happy birthday? That's not sharing the business. That's you just being a friendly person, and that will lead to something, but that's not actually going to grow your paycheck. And that's what you have to understand. It's the reality of it. I had a crazy year. I'm not going to lie. I'm very honest. I retired from my corporate job on March 1st was my last day of 2016. And so March 1st, this past March, was 1 year home. I did an incredible, crazy, expensive renovation on my home. I transitioned to be learning how to be at home after 13 years in corporate. I had to adjust to shit with my kids. I went through 3 nannies. I had a rough year. And my recruiting slowed down a little bit. And I had this like moment like, fuck, let's be honest. Like, why aren't you recruiting at the same pace as you were the first 4 years of your business? And I had to be honest and sit down and say, Lisa, you're not working the way you used to. And I know what really working is. So I sat down and I said, I had signed somebody March 1st. And I said, this is like my January because I'm 1 year home. This is like my January of being home. And I'm not going to let it slip by. So you guys are all in the position where you guys hustled a little bit over these past few weeks. You are at a point where you cannot let all of this work that you have done thus far slip on by. You have got to keep that foot on that pedal. And what that means is don't let your IPAs ease up. Don't say, oh, I'm tired, because that's not where the real growth happens. We always know, like when you go to the gym and you push yourself a little bit extra in that spin class, or you put on the elevation on the treadmill or whatever, going that extra incline, that extra speed is always going to make the difference in your business. So I sat down and I said, I've got to do this. And I said, minimally, I want to work X amount of hours sending out messages. I was not scheduling team calls. I was not scheduling myself to look at my pacing report. I wasn't, fuddling with daily experience. I sent out messages, hardcore messages. And I legitimately have 4 amazing women in my funnel right now that I haven't been excited about in a very, very long time. And I sat back and I reflected these past 2 days of this week. One of them, I have an enrollment appointment set for Thursday. Well, it's not until it's in, we all know. But I had a chance to reflect over these last 48 hours and really said, this is great timing for me to talk to you guys about this, because I really redirected my energy into what was going to grow my paycheck. And it really is sharing the business. And I told one of my prospects I was actually going to share this story tonight. But what's absolutely amazing is that yesterday I had a great call with somebody that I have known for 13 years. She's from the business that I came from. And we worked together. She was a buyer. I was in sales. And I called on her all the time. When I started the business, I reached out to her. She knew Melissa Darnell. She knew Melissa Bailey. We all worked together. And she was a little bit of a hot mess. I'm not going to lie. Single, very brash. I said, hey, she might be interested. She's smart, whatever. She shut me down. I was year 1 into the business. She shut me down and I was like, oh, whatever. She's a lunatic. I don't care. Better off. So when this whole hit the refresh button on my new year happened, she was on my list. I wanted to reach out to her. And I just sent a message, just like I was sending out all the other IPAs. And she said to me, you're not going to believe it, but I literally brought your name up yesterday and now you're sending a message to me. I was like, oh my God, that's so funny. So we had a call, we talked about the business, and she's like, listen, I have a child now. Things change. She's married. Things change. She's looking for a house in New Jersey. Things change. The industry certainly isn't what it used to be. Things change. And so it was all about timing. So she's sitting on the other line saying to me, well, why don't people succeed in this business? What separates somebody? I said, exactly what I just did right now. I followed up. Even if it was 3 years after we spoke, I followed up with you, and that's what made the difference. She literally, not 24 hours before we spoke, she mentions my name. There was an article written about direct sales, and the article said, you can knock it, and it might be annoying, but there's an effing reason why everybody's doing it. So realize that or not, but who cares what company you're with? Rodan and Fields happens to be an incredible company. And she saw this and she was talking about it with her friends 24 hours before I reached out to her. So you know what? You never know. And really what separates the people from quitting or not quitting, or from success and not success, is basically quitting. I have a girl in my downline who is a PC queen, but she's brought on maybe 4 or 5 business partners, but 4 or 5 of them do nothing, and she has 1 EC leg. She was kind of steady for some time. She's recently picked it up a little bit, but she was an EC leg, so she was a level 1. So for me, she was really nothing more than a really great EC for me. Well, this level 1 of hers, her direct, she signed a powerhouse, okay? A powerhouse. And now I'm sitting here. I literally just got off a Zoom call right before I hopped on this one. I'm sitting on a Zoom call just like this, and it all really happened because somebody in my second generation, who I never really thought twice about, signed a powerhouse. So you never know, because my direct, she's nothing. I mean, she's great, she's lovely, but I don't know that she has it in her to be a level 5, but this could be a Lexus leg for me. So you might have people on your organization, in your downline. Maybe you have 1 business partner, but who cares? That 1 business partner can sign a gold brick. So that's what separates you. You've got to keep on going. And the best training I saw recently was something that Elizabeth Guest did. And in terms of IPAs, don't worry about training your team. Don't worry about it. You know what you have to worry about? Just sponsoring yourself, because the best kind of training for your team will be modeling. You will model the right behavior. So, I really kind of had this reflection, like, I do want to spend a little bit less on my directs right now training them, because I want to model the right behavior. And it really is following the leader. So when Amy signs people, the rest of you guys sign people. When Amanda signs people, Amy's signing people. She's modeling the right behavior, and really, I signed 2 people in March, and I see an uptick on my team because of that. So I'm going to call a spade a spade. If you're doing it, your team will do it too. But it's really just about sending those messages. I'm going on and on, so I'm going to stop. Amy, you're muted.
Oh, I'm going to unmute her.
Okay, go.
Now you're muted again.
Hold on.
Okay.
There you go.
You're muted.
No, I'm not.
So that's so true. All of that. I was like, yeah. So do you guys, anyone want to pitch in and ask Lisa sort of any specific, income producing activity that you guys find really difficult for you? And maybe she can give you some pointers on like how to overcome, whatever that insecurity is. Does anyone want to kind of, and I'll unmute all of you guys right now. Hold on.
Here, Andrew.
Anyone? What, hold on.
Why don't you just
Okay.
mute? Okay.
Yeah, sorry. Okay. Does anyone have anything? Like, what do you guys kind of feel like? What's a barrier to you, having more conversations about the business? I mean, we've been in this group for the whole month. We've gone through a lot of different activities, and they were all only focused on recruiting. What has been the hardest?
So for me, it's been and has always been calling on basically perfect strangers. I just have a hard time, being comfortable enough to not only call, but even just, send a random message to someone I don't really know. So that's something I struggle with.
So I think it's really important that you have to get to know people a little bit. And so I don't think it's necessary for you to meet somebody on the first date and say, hey, you want to marry me? But on the flip side, I don't like to wait too long, because why are you going to wait 9 months just to see if they might think about dating you?
Right.
So you really do have to spend a little bit of time looking at their Facebook wall, asking them a ton of questions. So you kind of have to be like magician to kind of like get to know them a little bit. So the best advice I have is to definitely ask them a ton of questions and say to them, I mean, I went to Florida in February for a few days, and I met this girl I met a few girls in the pool, and I like made it my mission to just get to know them. I asked them a ton of questions. I added them to my Facebook friends, and then just, kind of befriended them a little bit and made some shit up just so I can have a conversation going. But I just sat there and I said, I could wait another 6 months to even see if she would even consider it, or I can just bring up the business. And so what I said to her is, hey, Becky, like, it was really great meeting you. Like, I feel like we definitely hit it off. Like, I think you're really super cool, and you obviously seem like you're fun and very well networked. I'm not sure if you've seen what I've been doing on Facebook, but I wanted to know, would you ever be open to considering an opportunity? And just saying, like, would you be open to hearing about it? Like, and then you take the conversation somewhere. But you don't even know if they're open to hear about. Why are you going to wait 6 months to see if they'd even be open to hearing about it? But yes, you've got to befriend them a little bit. So whether it's commenting on the shirt that they're wearing, or like their kids are so cute, or they look like they went to Iceland and say, oh, I'm thinking about going to Iceland. Like, just be a little maneuver to kind of create that conversation. And if you're talking to 10 people a day, you will see that having all those conversations will allow you to organically bring it up at certain points. So maybe you speak to somebody, 10 people on Monday. and then 10 people on Tuesday, and then 10 people on Wednesday. Well, guess what? On Thursday, you might be able to bring up the business with maybe 2 people from Monday.
Right.
So you're constantly keeping a very flow of your conversations.
Thank you.
One thing I just want to say is, like, you have to talk to people. Like, I don't care. Like, I went to go get my nails done on Friday, and like, I talked to the girl next to me and found the stupidest thing to chat with her about and figured out a way just to add her to my network. And yeah, she gave me, oh, I know so many people that do Roseanne and Fields. Like, I don't care. She doesn't. I said, oh, have you ever used the product? That's awesome. No, she never used the product. So I don't care that she knows 12 people that do it. She's never used the product.
Mm-hmm.
I friended her on Facebook. I asked her some stupid question about a recommendation for a restaurant. And now she's on my list as somebody that I can touch points with. So if you're not adding people constantly to your funnel, to your network, you will not get anywhere in this business.
And girls, if you remember, some of us were on a Zoom last week with Hannah. Hannah Fisher did ours last week, and she said the same thing about the touch points and just about, you know, what Lisa just said, the difference between one person and the next is the follow-up. So will you also just give examples? Like I hear you're saying, I mean, and we all know that going out of your house, basically, wherever you are, have your mini facials, start the conversation. And I also heard you say that a lot of your conversations are messages, obviously Facebook. Are those your 2 main things, or do you have other, do you text, do you call, do you what's your poison? What's your passion for poison?
I do use Facebook a lot. Like I do LinkedIn. I 100% do.
Oh, you do?
I do LinkedIn. I have one person message me back, like she was and then she was like, oh, I think I'm going to like focus on my job. And I had to say, like, this is something you can do alongside your job. So I'm waiting for her response right now. So I do LinkedIn. I post things on Instagram, and then, so I have like 1 or 2 followers on Instagram that I am. But I think it's like just meeting people out and about. And I think when you meet people out and about and you're able to add them to Facebook, it's just much easier to kind of get to know their lives a little bit. So I am text messaging, I'm Facebook messaging, like
Voice messaging?
I don't voice message, but that's because to be honest with you, like I did it like a few times and like, no, and it doesn't, I just probably didn't do it enough, but I got a response from it, and I was
that's like me too. So I actually have
it's your preference. It's just your networks. I don't.
I want to piggyback off of Amy, because I'm someone who has a full-time job where I'm in an office with 9 people. 8 of them are old guys. I can seriously not get out during the day, and then I come home and I'm with my kids, and so on the weekends is the only time, you know, to really get out and meet people. I do really well when I'm out, you know, I meet a lot of people, I have a lot of friends, I can add them, but during the week, I feel like unless I'm behind the screen, like finding people to connect with, you know, on like random Facebook groups, it's really hard.
So, can you go out for lunch? Do you go out for lunch?
Not really.
Okay.
I mean, you know, here and there, sure, but it's usually with a coworker or the boss or, you know, like a business lunch.
Okay.
It's not, and I have been making lunch meetings actually with people I've met, and I'm like, oh, you know, I'm in like a really good area of DC. I'm like, come here and like meet me for lunch. I've been doing that a little bit, but for the most part, not consistent.
Right. So I was in that same situation.
Right.
I just literally figured out ways to expand my network on Facebook. So I befriended everybody that my husband was, like I had a mutual friend with my husband. I went to like an old college friend and saw like I have any mutual friends with her, and I would tap into other people's networks and friend them, and then just create conversations. So that was a way that I was able to find more people on Facebook.
Yeah.
Does that make any sense?
Yeah, it does. And you know, that's definitely something I've been doing, kind of going through lists and seeing friends of friends, and you know, and then in terms of like finding kind of like maybe some interest groups to join. And you know, I was telling my my team that like I'm Russian, so like I'm part of this like Russian moms group, but they're only typing in Russian, and I'm on like a fourth grade reading level in Russian. And I'm like, oh my God, what have I done? But no, like, you know, I'm just literally like, I need to translate this. This is like difficult.
And also, like, I think you really have to, if you're going to be in that situation, you're super dedicated to meeting new people and extending your network. You've got to figure out a way on the weekends and then to really maximize. So, like, I don't ever go on vacation without making several new connections. You know, when I'm going to get my nails done on the weekend or whatever, like, I'm making sure I make a connection. Like, you can never just not open your mouth.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you so much. You guys, anybody else have anything that they really struggle with or need help with?
Come on, Bree. I think you want to say
Yeah, I'm like, come on. You know you want to say something. Oh, you need to unmute yourself. Yeah, there you go.
Sorry, I had like dogs wrestling on my bed a minute ago, so now they're away. So like the thing I struggle with is I get like attached to people, I think, where I'm just like, they would be amazing at this, and I struggle between the whole theory of the fortune is in the follow-up versus like clear your funnel and, you know, get new people in all the time. And even when I hear people say like, oh, I reach out to 10 people a week, I'm like, that's 70 people, or 10 people a day. That's 70 people a week. Like, I don't, even if I'm adding people continuously, you know, it's just, that seems overwhelming. So then I think I turn back to the ones that I'm sort of just kind of nudging along, and they're getting there. Like, I've had luck with that a little bit, but I don't want to get stuck there either. I don't know. So that's kind of my struggle right now, is I don't want to get the phone call of, oh, I just signed up with your company with someone else, you know? I don't know. So
yeah, it's just about kind of committing to how many people you physically can talk to. And when you have such a filled funnel, you won't get obsessed over people. And if you drag somebody into the business, you're going to be dragging them throughout the business.
That's true. Yeah.
I don't want you to ever feel like you think you're putting all your eggs in one basket.
Right.
Melissa and I call it the Rosie Pope effect. You guys know Rosie Pope?
Yes.
Yeah.
You guys know her, whatever, she's famous, and she signs with Melissa, and we thought that she was going to make Melissa a multi-millionaire.
Yeah.
And she did shit with the business. So anytime we think, we're like, oh my God, she's going to be so good, we're like, wait, is it the Rosie Pope effect?
Yeah, no,
That's so funny because I had a maternity,
those.
I owned a maternity and baby store for almost 10 years. And, you know, when she came out with her Bravo show, this is totally not RNF related, but we were so excited to have her line in our store, and it totally didn't sell. We had to put the whole thing on sale, and then like her show got canceled, and I was like, this is why we stick to maternal America, you know?
That's actually very funny. And I'm
So anyway, I'm like, I hate Rosie Pope. Like, had my like a whole side of my store that I had to like basically clear out for her shit that didn't sell.
Yeah. So, you know, you can't put all your eggs in one basket, because you really never know what somebody's inner why will be for them to run with it. And I think like you can't, yes, you can think that they'll be amazing and share that with them. And that's why you're sharing the opportunity with them. But by all means, you've got to keep it flowing. Like, you can't ever just stay at that one spot on the treadmill. Like, you've got to keep on moving forward.
So when people say they reach out to that many people a day, like forever and ever and ever, like, is some of that following up? I mean,
yeah, I definitely think some of it's follow up, but the key to somebody saying like, I reach out to 10 people, like, are they really sharing 10 times the opportunity?
Right.
I don't think that they're telling the truth. So like, you've got to be truthful. So if you can reach out to 5 people a day, all those 5 people you're going to say like, listen, I'd love to share the opportunity with you. Like, are you open to hearing about it? Then that's the key to success. It's not just, you know, the 5 happy birthdays should be just in addition to the 5 actual a day. Like,
it's quality versus quantity.
Right, 100%. But the quality comes in the actual language of your experience. It doesn't necessarily have to be the quality of the person, whether they're a doctor or a teacher or whatever. It just really comes with the quality of the reach out.
Right. Okay. That's helpful.
And you
Yeah,
have to
very.
be genuine and have your own voice and really be very present on Facebook, because a lot of the conversations that I have really transition much more easy into Rodan and Fields, because they see what I'm doing on through my wall, through my posting. They see my success. They see my passion. They see my passion.
Weird noises.
So that, that's really
Sounds like a submarine.
much easier to transition, because I am I walked to drop my daughter off at school today, and the teacher was like, I have to ask you a favor. And I thought I was like, my nanny did something like yesterday when she dropped Olivia off. I'm like, what happened? She's like, no. I want to order that lash boost thing. But she knows that I am the RF girl. So
Right.
if you're being so actively out there and social, and people will also, it'll be easy to have that conversation.
Right. Okay.
That's
This woman
great.
doesn't know the magnitude of what's happened to me. She just knows I sell RF.
Right. That's true.
Yeah, that's true. I have one more, and then, let's maybe take a couple more, but I think a lot of us do kind of struggle with this. I've heard this over and over. I have a very hard time converting preferred customers to, consultants. I have tons of them. I think some of them would be wonderful. I bring them the business here and there. I mention it to them, and they always say, I'm just really happy the way things are right now. I love that you're my girl and you take such good care of me. I know you're doing great. I see it. But but thanks, but no thanks.
That's one of the 12 follow-ups then.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But stop.
You're thinking low-hanging fruit. You already love the product.
Yes, right. But you've shared it with them. If you've said, listen, you can get a 25% discount on the products, and you could be earning an income while you're telling everybody why you're getting such great results. You've spent $642 with me this year.
Mm-hmm.
Why wouldn't you purchase a kit? You can calculate that for them. That's what my somebody on my team just did, and she got a
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
I get that, and I've tried that approach, and then I also really get the, I just can't do what you do. You put in so much time, Dina. You're emailing us these newsletters every month, and I see all the work you're doing on Facebook. It's almost counter. They're looking to see that you're working a lot, and they're yeah, I could never do that. I just wouldn't put in the time, so I wouldn't be a good team member for you.
So this is hard work, and if somebody's going to shy away from doing the work to get the results that they want, I don't know that I necessarily am pushing them so much to be in this. There are some people out there that are worker bees, and some people are not. Some people need to go and start the car 15 minutes before they leave the house, and some people just rush and run and get in the car and go. There's just several types of people out there, and I am really looking for the people who can multitask and do several things, because they see that when they hustle, they can earn much more. It's okay that some people don't want to work hard. It's unfortunately, it's so don't get hung up on that because somebody doesn't want to work as hard. But I think you do have to be honest and say, listen, this is all material that I get from my sponsor. And you kind of show them that this is just passed along. It's not like I'm reinventing the wheel. So I think you can definitely articulate to them that, listen, I'm not creating this on my own. I'm getting it.
Yeah. But that's true. That's a good idea. I don't know if that's something they realize.
I work a full-time job. You have kids? You have kids?
Yeah, 2.
So you say, Jessica, I work a full-time job and I have 2 kids. Don't you think if it wasn't worth it, I wouldn't be doing it?
I know. Yeah,
and really
totally.
articulate to them, don't be silly. I could do it. You could do it. Stop. You have to. My new thing is I say, you are a very successful teacher. You are a successful lawyer. You are a successful mom. If you are having success at what you're doing right now, why wouldn't you have success at this?
I love it.
You empower them to say, you've succeeded at being a corporate maven or a teacher or a speech pathologist. Why wouldn't you have success at this?
Yeah, thank you. That's actually, I like that. That's great. So guys, we're going to let Lisa go in 5 minutes. Anyone else have anything else?
I just have one thing. For in terms of what you were saying, people often tell me I don't have time. You work from home. You're a stay-at-home mom. You have all day. How can I do this if I have 3 children and I work and I do this? So that's what I get a lot from people that see that I'm a stay-at-home mom, so I have all day, but they don't.
You have to just reference the people who are not like that then. And you have to say, like, let me have you talk to Dina. Like Lisa, one of my mentors in the business, she worked for 4 years alongside a very demanding corporate career and 2 kids commuting. I think you just have to reference this. Like, yes, I do have time. I'm not going to lie, but that doesn't mean that you can't carve out time. The business is meant to be woven into your everyday. And I like to throw out statistics. And this might not be true on your direct downline, but it could be true amongst all of Team Laced Up or Team A Game, and say, like, I have to be honest with you, 90% of the women on our team work full time or work alongside this. Like, and just say I am the minority of them who is working this as a stay-at-home mom.
Mm-hmm. And that's true. I think there is stats out in the company that like 90% of people like do this alongside another full-time job.
Mm-hmm.
That's it?
I think so.
Yeah,
Thank you, Lisa.
Yeah,
I'll
that
be
was
asking
so
you again
helpful.
for next month.
I'm like, I've done several calls with Lisa. She's the best.
No, I wish I was on the Hannah call. I think she's the best.
She's great. Yeah. So, we're doing like kind of both. First call, it was just me and Amy. So those guys got screwed. And then like we kind of went up from there.
We went up the ladder.
Yeah. We took it up a notch from there. Thank you, Lisa, so much. And these guys did an amazing job. They worked really hard, and happy month end, everybody.
Thank
you. We got 3 more days,
you,
girl.
Lisa.
Thanks, Lisa.
Have a good week, guys.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
I'll send the recording.